Please welcome President Sally Kornbluth.
All right. Good morning, everyone. As you just heard from the voice above, my name is Sally Kornbluth. I'm MIT's president, and I am delighted to welcome you all, parents and students of the class of 2028. Woo-hoo! So in a few moments, I'll introduce you to the people on stage with me, and then we'll hear from three fascinating faculty speakers who all happen to be MIT graduates. But first, I want to share with you a few thoughts about the community that you are about to join and the kinds of opportunities that you'll find here. A little less than 2 years ago, I made the decision to come to MIT. At the time, I had a job that I loved at a university where I'd spent almost 30 great years. And people asked me, why give that all up? It's a good question. The answer is that MIT was irresistible. The opportunities to make an impact, the amazing hands-on nature of an MIT education, and the reverence for science. Just like you, I thought, I have to be here. MIT's learning by doing culture is one of the things that really appealed to me. In my own academic career, what excited me the most was hands-on research. Actually, in college, I wasn't even planning to major in science, but I took a class on human biology and became fascinated by how cells function. And when I stepped behind the microscope, I realized I loved doing fundamental research, designing the experiments, working with a dedicated team, and every once in a while, the amazing thrill of seeing something, some new insight or pattern that no one had ever seen before. There's really nothing like it. As an MIT student, you can be part of this kind of research through our undergraduate research opportunities program known as UROP. UROP projects can range from working in a biology lab to anything that intrigues you: computer science, architecture, nuclear engineering, music. And let me offer a special shout out to any of you looking to be part of fighting climate change. You'll be hearing much more about the climate project at MIT in the months to come. No matter what kind of research you're interested in, UROPs are an unmissable opportunity. The numbers tell the story. More than 90% of MIT undergraduates do at least one of them. Now, if real-world research with renowned MIT faculty sounds a bit intense, it is. And intense describes a lot of what you're going to find at MIT. But every one of you is more than up to the challenge. And here's how I know. Our Dean of Admissions, Stu Schmill, has a knack for assembling just the right MIT class year after year. Stu has been at the Institute since he was an undergrad himself, and I have limitless faith in his judgment. He and his team are exceptionally good at choosing the students who are ready for the challenges and rewards of an MIT education. And they chose you, so you can set your mind at ease. You belong here. But if you sometimes get frustrated or feel stuck, please know everyone here does, and you don't have to go it alone. It's not always easy asking for help, but as everyone up here today will tell you, sometimes the only way to succeed in facing a big challenge or solving a tough problem is to admit there's no way you can do it yourself. You're surrounded by a community of caring people, so please don't be shy in asking for guidance or help. Another tip, at MIT, we love our work, but sometimes you just have to step away from it and have some fun. MIT has about 450 official student organizations, so you're sure to find one that's doing things you like to do. And even if it feels a little bit risky, try new things. It's really okay to be a beginner. Join a group you would not have had time for in high school. Explore a new skill. Volunteer in the neighborhoods around campus. MIT also famously offers opportunities for entrepreneurs. So if you come up with an innovative, practical solution to a problem, or you want to start a new company, there are plenty of ways to transform your ideas into reality, and plenty of people to collaborate along the way. One last point. I know you have extremely high expectations for yourself. I mean, honestly, if you didn't, you wouldn't be here. We have high expectations for you too, in all kinds of ways. But I want to emphasize one that in many ways is much more important than others, and that is an expectation of how we treat each other. At MIT, the work we do is so important and so hard, it's essential we treat each other with empathy and with compassion, that we take care to express our own ideas with clarity and respect, and make room for sharply different points of view. And above all, that we keep engaging in conversation, even when it's difficult or frustrating or painful. Empathy and respect are central values here, and frankly, they are also skills that we all have to practice at every stage of life, because they turn out to be vital to every aspect of our success, as an institution, as a community, and as individual human beings. All of us together are responsible for the character of our community. So I hope you will join me in making it a place where we can all thrive. Now I'd like to introduce you to the very helpful and supportive people up here with me. All four of them are eager to support your success at MIT. First is Provost Cynthia Barnhart. Cindy. And for those of you who don't know what a provost does, Cindy runs the academic side of MIT, the schools and departments, the faculty and degree programs. If that sounds like an enormous job, it is. Provost Barnhart has 2 MIT degrees in civil and environmental engineering, course 1. And her research, you'll learn that, I barely learned it after a year here. And her research interests include large-scale transportation logistics and airline operations. With her extensive background in systems engineering, she's able to keep all of MIT's parts working together at maximum efficiency. She's guiding a number of efforts to keep MIT at the leading edge of the research frontier, and she has also played a huge role in expanding MIT's idea of mind and hand to include an emphasis on heart. Next is Chancellor Melissa Nobles. Her focus is on student well-being and academic success. She's a political scientist with research interests that include civil rights and restorative justice. Chancellor Nobles has been a member of the MIT community for more than 25 years. For 6 of them, she served as dean of what we sometimes call MIT's secret weapon, the School of Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences, which ensures that all MIT students graduate with a background in humanistic fields that is vital to being an effective leader in any field. Thank you. We're also joined by Dan Hastings, who currently serves, who's over there, serves as our Vice Chancellor for undergraduate and graduate education. He works with students, faculty, and staff to understand all aspects of the student experience and find innovative ways to make it better. Dan is a professor of aeronautics and astronautics, that's course 16, and he's taught plasma physics, rocket propulsion, aerospace policy, space systems engineering, and I'm sure a whole lot of other stuff. So thank you, Dan. And we have our Vice Chancellor for Student Life, Susie Nelson, who I can guarantee you will be hearing from a lot. Susie sends you a very important message, so let me urge you to actually open those messages. She oversees everything from housing, dining, support services, to a wide range of programs that make MIT more fun. Not surprisingly, Dean Nelson's favorite part of the job is working with students, and her team is dedicated to helping all of you succeed and thrive in every way possible, intellectually, physically, spiritually, and personally. Her office is on the first floor of Building 4, and she wants you to know the door is always open. So thank you, Susie. Now, if you're out there feeling pretty lucky to be joining this incredible community, I want you to know that we feel even more lucky. We're so delighted and so grateful to you that you chose to bring your talent, your energy, your curiosity, and creativity here to MIT. And we're thrilled to be starting this new year with all of you. Now, in a moment, 3 MIT faculty will try at lightning speed to give you a sense of what it's like to live, study, and work here. I'll introduce all 3 at once, and then each will come directly to the podium in sequence and tell you about their work. So Isaiah Smith Andrews is a professor in the Department of Economics. He's an expert in developing new statistical tools to answer big questions about things like economic growth, economic inequality, and the impact of government programs in areas like agriculture and education. Isaiah explores questions about the certainty or uncertainty involved in economic analysis and the degree of confidence that we can all have in the result. And Isaiah will tell you econometrics has the ability to influence and improve empirical research on all kinds of real-world problems. Paula Hammond, as chair of Department of Chemical Engineering, 2021 she became an institute professor, the highest honor awarded by MIT's administration and faculty. She's also the vice provost for faculty, which means she oversees institute-wide strategies and programs to support faculty excellence and advancement. Paula is a pioneering nanotechnologist who has designed novel polymers and nanomaterials. Her work has wide-ranging applications in medicine. She has introduced new approaches for delivering, for complex drug delivery systems, for treatment and non-invasive imaging. At one time, Paula planned to pursue a career as a writer, but a favorite high school teacher inspired her to give chemistry a try, and the rest is history, so we're glad she did. And finally, Aram Harrow is a professor in MIT's Center for Theoretical Physics. He works to understand the capabilities of quantum computers and quantum communication devices. In this process, he creates connections to other areas of theoretical physics, mathematics, and computer science. Aram has produced foundational work on the role of representation theory in quantum algorithms and quantum information theory. He also co-authored a paper that showed how quantum entanglement could offer an advantage in playing blackjack. Unfortunately, I understand it's a very small advantage, so it may not be worth committing to memory here. In any case, I know you're going to enjoy hearing from all 3 speakers, so please now join me in welcoming Professor Andrews.
Thanks very much to President Kornbluth for the introduction. I've had the privilege of coming to MIT multiple times, although never as an undergraduate. So I first came here for graduate school, then I left and came back as an untenured faculty member, and then left and came back again as a tenured faculty member. And something I wanted to talk about today is why I kept coming back to MIT. I've always wanted to come back to MIT because of some of the great things I learned about this place in my first time here, and which I know all of you are about to learn as well. In particular, what I learned is that MIT is a remarkable place where the students, faculty, and staff are extremely capable and have lots and lots of things they could be doing with their time, but they mostly choose to spend their time trying to make the world a better place. Where by making the world a better place, I don't mean something gauzy or abstract, but instead concrete achievements that we can see, touch, and measure. You'll see this in all sorts of ways during your time here. MIT has, of course, made tremendous contributions to the world through science and engineering. But I want you to keep in mind that MIT's contributions don't end there. For instance, you may or may not already know this, but MIT has a number of non-science and engineering departments regarded as among the very best, if not the very best, in the world. Close to my own interests, for instance, I have colleagues in economics who have devoted their careers to running large-scale experiments, looking for the most effective ways to improve the lives of people in developing countries, and others who have devoted their careers to finding the most effective ways to improve the lives of future generations here in the US. Those of you beginning your time at MIT have so many opportunities open to you. And I really think your biggest challenge may be that there are only 24 hours in a day to take advantage of them. That said, I do think it's important to be realistic that, like all of us, many of you will face challenges both academic and personal during your time here. And if and when you do, I want you to remember that all of us here, right, all of us on stage, all of us here at the Institute, really want you to succeed. Speaking from the perspective of a faculty member, right, we're on the faculty because we know how much potential all of you have, and we want to help you reach that potential. Given that, I hope that you don't hesitate to reach out to us if you run into any issues, where that of course applies if you're taking our courses and having difficulty. But I want you to keep in mind that it applies just as much when things are going well, but you've got questions or things you're trying to figure out where we might have something useful to add. In particular, something that I hope you'll all think about is what you can do to make the world a better place, given the opportunities available to you. That will, of course, be part of your education and something you'll find yourself discussing time and again with your peers and with faculty members. But it could be something like preventing global warming or helping society to deal with its effects, developing treatments for diseases old and new, but also figuring out how to make those treatments widely accessible and affordable, paving the way towards advances in artificial intelligence, but also figuring out how to regulate it. You're all here because you have excelled, and I know that you will excel here as well. I challenge you, though, to follow the MIT tradition and be more than just excellent. I challenge you to be good.
Greetings, class of 2028. MIT is a special place, a place where you can grow and take deep dives in a manner that is unconstrained, examine those things that fascinate you, and discover new things that you never knew existed. For those of you who are feeling happy, excited, and confident, embrace those positive feelings and leverage your energy into engaging with not only your classes, but with your fellow students. You're all such a talented group of people. You bring skill sets that run deep within various areas of math, science, technology, policy, design, and all of the things that you have come to study here. But also touch on breadth in music and performing arts, athletics, outreach, and engagement. And you've come here to learn from the top faculty in the field, as well as from each other. Truly, you're the best and brightest in every category. As you start your classes, remember that MIT offers you a chance to grow in depth and breadth, and that getting to know your fellow classmates can enrich you in ways that you may not be able to appreciate until much later in life. When you're doing well in a class, when you're feeling like, I get this, and I can actually break it down, share that wealth of knowledge with your fellow classmates. In the process of doing so, you will learn a great deal about yourself and gain greater depth of understanding from someone else who perhaps has had a different perspective or life experience than yours. At some point, in turn, you will find the situation reversed, and you will be in the place of the less experienced learner who can gain from a classmate. You will yet have an opportunity to connect, engage in ways that allow you to share more about yourself, your perspective, your background, and your motivations. Now, there may be some of you out there, maybe many of you, who feel that you're just a little bit different from everyone else for various reasons. Maybe you come from a different background, ethnic or cultural, or perhaps you're from a family in which very few of your fellow family members have gone to college. Or you come from a different social or economic background from many of your classmates, or in some other way you feel some sense of being a little different and you're anxious about whether you'll fit in, whether you belong. So I want to speak to that for a moment. Each and every one of you brings something new and unique to this campus. You are all meant to be here. You are all brilliant and in a spectacularly diverse set of ways. It is exactly those differences that make MIT a place of excellence and a true foundry of learning and shared knowledge. Without the many perspectives that each of you are bringing here today, we don't learn about new ways to address old problems or how to adjust our lens to see new problems. We all lose when we cannot have an abundance of learners and teachers who provide a diversity of thought from every corner of the country and the world. So about myself and my own journey, when I first visited MIT, visited the campus, before making my decision, I felt so much enthusiasm and excitement about the possibility of going to school with fellow students ready to engage in their science with true nerdy exuberance. I have found my people. But when I arrived on campus to start my first year, I was petrified. I had gone to a small, all-girls Catholic high school where the highest level math I had was pre-calculus. I watched and listened as I heard from my classmates. They bragged about awesome experiences I had never had: Math Olympics, research in university labs, deep exposure to programming, huge amounts of preparation, and I was sure I was an admissions mistake. However, during my first year, I reached out to my classmates. I found groups of students that helped and supported me. And for me, that included a number of different places. I was a member of the Black Student Union. I was also very close with the upper class women on my floor in McCormick Hall, which is right over there. And believe it or not, I got a great deal of strength from the MIT basketball cheerleaders team. We did have cheerleaders back then. I took away any pretense of being a lone ranger in my studies and worked with other students to understand difficult concepts. I met with the TAs, I kept telling myself I could make it, and ultimately, I found that I was not only the only one who sometimes missed a concept and needed to go back over it multiple times. I wasn't the only one who needed some extra time to dig deep into a new math or physics problem. In connecting with others, I found that I had a new understanding of their path, and that gave me strength in approaching my own. Ultimately, I made it through my freshman year, and I was able to gain confidence in my abilities to the point where I was tutoring undergrads in chemistry and chemical engineering topics as I entered my junior and senior year. Always remember that you belong here. If nothing else, remember that you are here for a reason, and we are benefiting from your presence. I encourage you to get to know each other and to get to know your faculty, both those who are teaching you and those who are doing things in areas that excite you. These people will be the ones who keep you excited about the things you're learning and the work you can do with these newly gained skills. And together, you can help to solve the biggest problems and learn ways in which your interests and knowledge converge to impact society, humankind, and the planet. In the process, you will find that learning from each other is the best way to understand what those problems are and how we can address them. Science, technology, and innovation are not bred from lonely excursions, but from true connectedness, collaborative interactions, and insights gained from peers and teachers alike. I so look forward to your presence here, class of 2028, and to your contributions to this great institute. Thank you.
Welcome, class of 2028. You've worked very hard to get here, but I want to give you one more assignment. When you applied to MIT, you likely had some major in mind. Think about that field and why you like it and what you want to do with it. You also probably had in mind something you didn't want to study. Think about those and why they're irrelevant or a waste of time, or at least not for you. Many of you in the future will find yourself changing fields, sometimes dramatically, sometimes working on one of these topics that right now are very low on your list of interests. Try to imagine what this might look like. My own field, quantum computing, is one that I had no idea existed when I came to college. I was pretty sure, though, that I wasn't interested in computer science. But junior year, a friend of mine told me I should go to a department colloquium on quantum error correction. These colloquia are an amazing resource, by the way. I found a year up on quantum computing soon after, and have loved it ever since. Ending up in an unexpected place happens to almost everyone. My dad went from math to African film and literature. My wife from physics to epidemiology. Back to my field, the whole idea of quantum computing was an unexpected development. The quantum mechanics is a 100-year-old theory that very successfully describes atoms, light, materials, other microscopic things. Only in the 90s did people realize that it also said a lot about the meaning of information and computing. It says these aren't just abstract concepts that you might study with math or philosophy, but that they depend on their physical embodiment. For example, the Heisenberg uncertainty principle says that you can't know both position and momentum simultaneously. Quantum computing goes further with other kinds of incompatible knowledge. It says that everything has wave-like properties, like interference and superposition, and that we can harness this to build a quantum computer that would achieve things qualitatively different from any previous model of computing. It's an amazing field, But when I started in quantum computing in 2000, it was not at all clear that usable quantum computers would ever be built or that the field would go anywhere. Now it's the focus of a huge worldwide effort. The story always makes me wonder which field today is like quantum computing or deep learning in its early days. What is the idea that's unappreciated today that will be huge tomorrow? An example I love here is the story of Katalin Karikó. The consensus was that mRNA wouldn't work for medicine because the body has proteins that immediately break it down and cause inflammation in the process. Karikó worked on mRNA obsessively in the 90s, but her grant applications were denied, her papers were rejected, and the general message from her peers was that she should give up and do something else. She persisted, overcame the technical challenges, and helped save millions of lives. If you've been listening, you'll notice that I'm saying that sometimes you should be flexible and open to new experiences, and sometimes you should fanatically pursue your dreams. That's why giving advice is hard. I can't tell you when to be flexible and when to be stubborn, just that this is the sort of hard question you should be thinking about. Failure is another part of these stories, and that's part of what makes the decision-making tricky. When I was first starting research, every new result of mine felt like a unique miracle, which happened for inexplicable reasons and might never happen again. And there was a high failure rate. My first original research result that I got excited about was in my senior year. I gave talks about it, I did a literature search for writing a patent, until I found the idea had been written up already in 1970, and it didn't work. My second result was a math theorem that I posted on a preprint server and submitted to a journal. I felt pretty good about this, especially when I got a very nice email about it from a senior professor at Caltech who said, "Aram, I really like your result, and I want to present on it in our journal club." I was confused about one step, and I was wondering if you could help me understand it. In page 17, why did you say, and then some math thing? In particular, what do you think about this counterexample? Bad news, it turned out. The proof couldn't be fixed. I updated the preprint to remove the wrong claim, along with the majority of the paper that depended on it. But the server still makes the first version accessible, a permanent public record of my mistake. Now the third result. In preparing a guest lecture, I realized I could dramatically improve the efficiency of a previous quantum communication technique, and I planned a better version of the lecture. Long story short, I was wrong again. I lost a $20 bet, and I rewrote the lecture the night before to go back to the old method. Later, I proved that the efficiency gains I'd hoped for were impossible, and this proof turned into a published paper. Chewing on the ideas there led me to a series of bigger results over the next few decades. This constant string of failures is really a pretty average research story. What's hard about research is not the math. I'd say it's balancing realism and optimism while avoiding both despair and arrogance. I want to leave you with a challenge. Find something you think you don't like. Learn about it by going to a talk or a class. Figure out why people are interested in it, what's compelling about it, and how you might contribute to it. Take the possibility seriously, even if you don't pursue it. You never know what'll happen. Thanks.
As we come to the end of our program, the Chorallaries of MIT will lead us in the school song. First, we'd like to remind parents and families that you are invited to join Vice Chancellor Nelson in the Johnson Ice Rink at 12:30 for an information fair and lunch. On your way, you're welcome to stop and say hello to President Kornbluth, Chancellor Nobles, and Vice Chancellor Hastings. Because COVID may still be hanging around, let's play it safe. Skip the handshakes and stick with the photos. Members of the class of 2028, you're invited to lunch in your residence halls at 12:30 with your heads of house and graduate resident advisors. And now, once again, President Kornbluth.
Thank you. So I really want to just thank our speakers, Professor Andrews, Hammond, and Harrow, for their inspiring remarks. I always feel like I want to go to college again when I hear our faculty. A big thank you also to the Office of the First Year, our orientation leaders, and everyone in the Division of Student Life for offering a warm welcome to our newest students. And thank you all for coming. For our finale, please stand and join all of us in singing the school song, led by the Chorallaries of MIT. You will find the words in your orientation app. Or just listen, either way.
to ye, and life is full and rich. Arise and raise your glass on high, tonight shall ever be a memory that will never die for ye of MIT. Thy sons and daughters, MIT, return from far and wide, and gather here once more to be renourished by thy side. And as we raise our glasses high to pledge our love for thee, we join all those of days gone by in praise of MIT. Oh, I wish that I were back again on Tech on Boylston Street, dressed in my dinky uniform, so dapper and so neat. I'm crazy after calculus, I never had enough. 'Twas hard to be dragged away so young, 'twas horribly, awfully tough. Hurrah for technology, ology, ology, oh, glorious old technology, ology, ology, oh. Back in the days I were free from care in the ology varsity shop, with nothing to do but analyze air in an anometrical top. The differentiation of the trigonometric powers, the constant pi that made me sigh in those happy days of ours. Hurrah for technology, ology, ology, oh, glorious old technology, ology, ology, oh. Take me back on a special train to the glorious institute. I yearn for the inspiration of the technological toot. I genuinely physical prep and chapel and all that, but how I'd love to go again on science epic bet. La 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 O MASSACHUSCTTS INSTITUTEOFTE and then it's CHNOLOG and Y comes after G.
Really? Like, come on.
Sorry. It's the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Hey!